Moyoringeja Hawakika, Moyoringeja Hawakika, Imba Buraku Takachi Mukandi Taka Kwantajo, Kantaso, Kantaso, Kantaso. Moyoringeja Hawakika, Moyoringeja Hawakika, Imba Buraku Takachi Mukandi Taka Kwantajo, Kantaso, Kantaso, Kantaso. Hey, hey, Moyoringeja Hawakika, Moyoringeja Hawakika, Imba Buraku Takachi Mukandi Taka Kwantajo, Kantaso, Kantaso, Kantaso. Moyoringeja Hawakika, Moyoringeja Hawakika, Imba Buraku Takachi Mukandi Taka Kwantajo, Kantaso, Kantaso, Kantaso. Hey, hey,
So much love from Rythmia via New York City. You must be wondering, right, why we're wearing these warm capuchons, as they call them in Hebrew. This is such an honor to be with Shaman Itzhak Beery, who visited Rythmia and graced us with his teachings. And I'm sitting in his shamanic little cave here in New York City. And so we continue to come to you with the live of the wisdom of Rythmia. And our topic today is relationship with spirit. And so we have here at Itzhak's shamanic cave a few different tools that really call in and invoke spirit into the room.
Yeah, but let's start with that.
Right?
Yeah.
So the prayer, the song that you sang, that you offered us as an opening, that already is the calling of spirit. Would you like to tell us what it means?
Well, that particular prayer is a prayer of calling Imbambura, Kotakachi, and Muhandita, the three mountains that create the Valley of the Dome around Otavalo in the Andes of Ecuador. And the legend says, and this is really about love and relationship to spirit, is that one night the male mountain, and you have to understand that everything in the shamanic tradition has gender. And so mountains are either male or female, or sometimes both. And so that particular mountain, Imbambura, is huge and powerful male energy. And it sits there like over looking the whole valley. And he looked one night at in front of him, and he saw this beautiful Kotakachi mountain, which is a breast-shaped female energy. And he fell in love with her. And the exchange was so combustive, so powerful. They fell in love. So the whole earth came volcanic. And of course, you know what happened when you fall in love. Something get born. And what got born is Mohanda, the mountain on the left side. And so, because of the love of the male mountain in Bambura, who fell in love with Kotakachi, we have now three mountains. And Mohanda, Mohandita, the way they say, is their child. It's a child of love of the two spirit mountains, the two Apus, that have come together one very hot night and created this beautiful, um, beautiful valley of the Dawn, the valley where it's all in their eyes the history began. And so I think that this is one thing that is so important for all of us to understand, that we have in the shamanic tradition, you honor all spirits. Everything in nature has a spirit. Everything is alive, and everything have um, characters, and they have personalities. And when one mountain is falling in love with another, of course, we're going to have children, and these are the children of love of the two mountains.
Wow. If you missed that prayer, we will definitely close with that prayer. And on that note of prayer, and with the topic of relationship with spirits, we are going to continue to bring forth the spirits and honor the spirit. And, you know, each one of us has our unique way of having that relationship with spirit. And so, Itzhak, you come from a certain tradition that I'd love you to introduce and talk about the relationship and the invocation, and, you know, how that spirit really enters into a space, into a room. So I'd love for you to talk about that. And before we do that, why don't we ignite the continuous fire?
Absolutely.
Right? And so I know for myself that in every time that I want to be connected to source, to spirit, to creator, I light the fire. And so maybe you have a candle nearby and you want to go and bring a candle so that you can join us in this relationship with spirit. Yay. So we have the fire now burning from near and afar, because in spirit, there's no separation. There's no time and space. So this fire now is with us as we continue this journey to embark upon the relationship with spirit. Aho!
Aho. And if we talk about the spirit of fire, the spirit of fire in the Andes tradition, located in our sacred fire area in our body, which is the sexual energy. It's in the pelvis, where all life begins, and it correlates to the beautiful fire that is within the between the inside the Pachamama, between inside the womb of the mother. And those two sacred fires are connecting to Tata Inti, which is the sun, or the energy of the fire from above, from the sun. So there are the two of them, the sun, which is the energy of the fire from above, and the fire in the womb, in the molten lava inside the mother, the womb of the earth, bring all that energy into our pelvis. And that's the pelvis is where we call the sukumnina, which is the sacred fire. And all life begins in that passion, in that creativity, in that place where life begins. And so the fire is is also the way for us to use sage to so that it is the relationship between the plants world and the fire or the elements. And so we're going to, and if you have that to you, if you have any kind of a sage or Palo Santo or pine or any other plant, why don't you create the relationship, the spirit relationship with between the plants world and the elements. One of the elements, so actually, we have the air elements and the fire elements in symbolized in the candle. And this particular sage, it brings in relationship Parashakti and myself because we are from Israel, and that sage is from Israel.
Oh, the Holy Land.
So it connects us all in that way. And
And always when we light the sage, we have a prayer as we connect with that relationship with spirit of purification. So in your own right, what is it right now that you would like to release and to let go of and to purify? And just feel that this medicine is in deep relationship right now with all those who are here, the medicine of clearing and cleansing.
and when we are invoking the spirit of the plants, we also want to invoke the spirit of the mountain that these plants grew up on, and the spirit of the rain that fed it, and the spirit of the earth that the sage grew up on. And so it is not just one relationship to the plant itself, but it's for the whole cycle of life that help create that plant, and also for what the plants are giving us back to protect us, to remove negative energy, to kill the viruses and bacteria from around in our energy field. And so it is a more of a ceremony of gratitude to the plant, gratitude to the fire, and it's a gratitude for life.
So perhaps in the chat, you can share with us what is your way? What is your relationship with spirit? What is perhaps a way that you connect with it? So we lit the fire, we lit the sage, we sang. I would love for us to learn more about what allows you to be more in relationship with spirit. And as you start to chat along the way here, you have some other tools that call in spirit. Would you like to share any of the other tools that you have?
So traditionally, the way you are traditionally in the shamanic tradition, we of course we believe that every object in our physical world contain spirit, contain energy, or contain consciousness, and we can use our ability to journey or to dream or to direct our thoughts into the energy of any object in our physical world. And so, one way that shamans do is they speak to the object, or they speak to the trees, to the mountains, they speak to the lakes, they speak to the rivers, they speak to everything that is around them. Everything has spirit. Everything is energy. Everything vibrates in energy. And uh, shamans, what they do is they invoke those spirits or communicate with them, and with their intention, with their conscious mind awareness, they send messages to spirit, and at the same time they are receiving the messages themselves. And the art of doing that is incredibly important to understand that what stops us from receiving messages from nature or from any object is our own ego or our own gatekeeper. It is that um, this unseen creature that sits over here and tell us that what we see or what we experience is not true. And it's based on fear. It's based on mind. And so, one of the struggles that we have in communicating with spirit um, is our own gatekeeper.
Mm.
And what we might want to do is we might fall in love with that gatekeeper. We might want to befriend with that gatekeeper. We might want to understand the gatekeeper fear why he doesn't allow us to go deeper into those unknown places and experience the totality of the mystery. And when we are conscious of that, then we can maybe surrender to falling in love and falling in love with the mystery.
That is so beautifully weaving our theme, because if we can truly fall in love with, as you quoted, the gatekeeper, um, then we can unite and merge with our real, beloved, which is creator. And so that's wow, that's a lifelong journey to fall in love with that gatekeeper, right?
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
like I like the name gatekeeper better than ego.
Well, it is a gatekeeper because see, the purpose of ego in our way of understanding the world is to warn us of danger.
Mhm.
But the gatekeeper is not only warn us of danger, but is also acting on our fears. And the fears come from trauma. The fear come from life experiences that were not pleasant. So it is not based on what we call reality. It's based on fear and previous experiences. But those previous experiences happened when you were young, when unable to protect yourself or unable to experience your own power, inner power. So you are always relating back to the time where these events happen. So the gatekeeper sits there and tell you, no, 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 you remember that time when you were 3 years old? No, 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 don't do that. In our role now that we are a little bit older and have a different color hair, is to is to tell that gatekeeper, I understand you, I love you. My experience now is different.
Mm.
Let me experience the world fully.
Mm.
Let me fall in love with the mystery. I don't need to be afraid. I don't need to be guarded. I can live truly open, free of fear. And I think that that will be a wonderful way. And if we are talking about Valentine's Day and love between each other, that's also the same. It's the same pattern in a way. The way we perceive each other, people who are looking different than us, the way we fear anything that is different, different sex, different genders, or other things like that that we never experienced before. We call our gatekeeper to block us from falling in love with them.
Well, I love how some of you have shared how you connect to spirit. And one of the things with some of the few that I've read, is music. And music is a big part of our ceremonies at Rythmia. Music is the gatekeeper to the soul. And so I agree with you, for our fellow journeyer over here that share that music is a way to connect with source, with spirit, with creator. So what else would you like to share from all the many years that you have worked with spirit? And I just have to say that Itzhak, Beery, and I go back many, many, many years beyond the fact that we're both from the Holy Land, Israel. I moved to the States and based myself out of New York and met this shaman. And Itzhak also was at Rythmia, a guest speaker. And so how was your experience at Rythmia?
Well, I wish I could stay there forever. I love the food very much, and I love the yoga and everything that it was offering there. And my class was just like really beautiful. The people who came there was just marvelous. I mean, we had a really wonderful classes there, and they got a lot out of it. I'm just waiting to be reinvited again. If we can find some time to go. It's just that I became a little busy flying over. So yeah, I highly recommend that. Absolutely. Um, what not to like about Rythmia?
A magical place indeed.
Absolutely. Um, so it is a time of love. We are now in February 14 on Valentine's Day.
The day that I fly back to Rythmia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for those who just tuned in now, we are in New York City. We're not at Rythmia. Yeah, so Sunday on Valentine's Day, heart to heart, wing to wing, I fly back to Rythmia.
Maybe our soul is in Rythmia now. Right?
Yes.
So yes, for that particular day, or the day of love, I was thinking about the ability to fall in love, and falling in love is really about quiet down the gatekeeper, and experiencing the beauty of this world. And for those these people for the people who wrote here about music, so in the Takisami tradition of the High Andes, which is the sound healing, the understanding is that the world as a whole is made of vibrations, and music is a manifestation of vibrations in many different ways. And it's the way to the heart, the way to opening the heart, is to sync the vibrations with the vibrations of the heart, or the heartbeat of Pachamama in many ways. And that's why we also use drums. So if you want to be in the spirit of Pachamama, you want to use your drum or rattle to sync your heartbeat with the heartbeat of Pachamama. And when you do that for a while, you start to feel like also energized, but also that you are floating, that you are becoming part of, that you are not separated from the earth. And the sound vibration is also used for healing, because every part, every organ in our body operate on different vibrations, sound vibration. So using a drum or rattle, or even dancing or movement, dancing, right? So it is about allowing the inner organs, where you can't really do massage, or you can't really do acupuncture or other techniques, to vibrate, or to return them to the original vibrations. And music is the essence of all. It is the common language for all tribes, and then for all human beings. It's a non-verbal way of communicating and opening the heart and sharing information through the sound, through the expression of music. It's a great tool, and that's why music is used as a tool in all rituals and all ceremonies, to open our hearts, to create commonality between people. It's a beautiful way of bringing love into your life.
So, as our calling to close, we are going to close with, as you said, the divine essence of love of spirit. And you opened with a very powerful, prayerful song. Would you like to close with that? Or do you have a new one?
I think we'll give homage to Imbambura, Kotakachi, and Muhanda, the three mountains that fell in love. The two mountains, the father and the mother, who fell in love, and with their enormous love, they shook the earth. They spew all the lava into the earth and created Muhanda. Muhanda is their child, their fruit of their love. And if you go to Muhanda, and I take people there every year, on the top of Muhanda, there is a beautiful, beautiful lake where the indigenous people go in the full moon, and instead of looking at the sky, they look at the water to as a mirror to show them the constellation from above, marked in the water. And it's another way of communing with the spirit of nature. It is about how do you bring the world above us and the world beneath us, the two worlds together, as one is mirroring each other. It's such a beautiful,
so beautiful. So wherever you are in the world, let's go ahead and transport ourselves high above mountaintops with unlimited view.
Yeah, so maybe you want to close your eyes and just imagine how Imbambura, that beautiful mountain, presides over the Valley of the Dawn, stand there so strong and so attracted to Kotakachi, the female energy, and the fruits of their love, Muhammad. Moyori eja hawa katita, moyori eja hawa katita, Imbambura Kotakachi Muhandita Safantayo, Fantasho, Moyori eja hawa katita, moyori eja hawa katita, Imbambura Kotakachi Muhandita Safantayo, Fantasho.
So it is very important, as this is the topic of relationship with spirit, that when you invoke spirit, as we did here with you today, that you close. And there's a beautiful way that when we ignite the fire, we say thank you to the fire. Thank you for joining us in such power and strength and reflection. And so as we let this fire go, may the fire of your heart continue to burn ever so beautifully and musically aligned with spirit. Thank
Shamu,
you.
shamu, shamu.
Shamu, shamu, shamu. Thank you, Itzhak Beery.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll be seeing you very soon at Rythmia. I'm so excited to fly back home on Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us here in New York City via Rythmia Live. Back next Friday. Again, thank you, Shaman Itzhak Beery. and so much love on this continuous journey of connection to spirit, connection to source, relationship with yourself and the world. Thank you, everybody.
Shungo!
Chungo!